Hi, I'm forecaster Nathan Kitchens with the Convective Weather Team. Just wanted to update you with the latest information on Hurricane Joaquin, as we do have some changes noted with today's data. And here's a look at the infrared image of Hurricane Joaquin, now a Category 4 storm, causing major impacts here in the Bahamas. We've seen lots of footage coming in of flooding and a lot of damage from these storms, very devastating. And the problem is the storm is very slow moving right now. Almost just sitting here at a very slow, moving at a very slow rate. You can see the current movement southwest. Not a good movement for the Bahamas at 6 miles per hour. So it continues to cause major impacts to these islands here. All these islands here in the Bahamas here are under hurricane warnings. All the areas in red under those hurricane warnings. And the hurricane is moving very, very slowly. Again, it's a Cat 4, a major hurricane, and over the next 24 hours, it's continued to maintain its strength, if not strengthen some more. So, continue to remain a very powerful storm. And here's the latest track. This is the latest track from the National Hurricane Center. And notice the cone has shifted. I mentioned in the update this morning that looks like that. I think they may update when they update the forecast that track will be shifted farther to the east. And sure enough, that's what the data showed today. Here's a look at the latest storm path from National Hurricane Center. You can see maintaining major hurricane status through today and into tomorrow, all the way to 2 p.m. Saturday. It's still a major hurricane down here in the Atlantic. And heading into Sunday, it moves farther to the north. Here, remaining a hurricane, will remain a hurricane through 2 p.m. Monday off the coast. But that's the biggest change today. Looks like the storm will be staying off the coast. Notice the cone of uncertainty almost completely out of the United States. So that's very good news from the updated information today. And this is the spaghetti plot from this morning. That's not the updated spaghetti plot. We're talking about the potential for some very heavy rain in portions of the Carolinas. Now this is a very complicated setup. I wanted to show you the models to show you how the rain will be setting up over the next few days. We're going to see a lot of flooding here independent of Hurricane Joaquin. It's a very complex setup, and partly why the models have been just kind of having a field day with how to handle this hurricane. And we have because we have this low pressure here that will be moving into the southeast U.S. We have this trough upper level low here, and we have a high pressure out here in the Atlantic. And so the Hurricane Joaquin down here only has a narrow path to move through. So, and the models have been having a very difficult time on the track of this storm. So we have the upper level low pressure here, and over the next few days we expect this dumbbelling effect. As the hurricane lifts to the north out here in the Atlantic, it will interact with that low. We're going to see moisture getting pulled in, and that will continue to be just a tropical fetch coming in of moisture to the Carolinas, and that's why we're expecting all the heavy rain. Not necessarily because the hurricane's coming in to the Carolinas. It may seem that way because of all the rainfall we're going to get. It's actually because of this upper level low here in the southeast U.S. We get this hurricane moving to the north, this dumbbelling effect of the rain, where we get that moisture feeding in, and going to lead to very heavy rain. So that's kind of, I wanted to do the video forecast to really explain the setup because it's extremely complicated to discuss. And here's a look at what the GFS is showing. This is the latest 18Z run. And heading into Friday, tomorrow I should say, and into Saturday, notice the hurricane starts to lift to the north. This is by 2 p.m. Saturday. I wanted to go back here. We're going to begin to see what we call this dumbbelling effect, where we see the rain band here over South Carolina and North Carolina here. Very, very heavy rain band setting up. And over time, we're going to watch that rain band kind of tilt, become it's more of a vertical tilt right now, where we from kind of oriented in a north to south direction on Saturday afternoon. But notice as we get towards Saturday evening, we get that dumbbelling effect, that moisture getting interacting with this low pressure. We get this dumbbelling effect where the rain band will be tilted more gradually, eventually in a more horizontal east to west orientation, heading into Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. So this is the problem here, where this rain band just pretty much just gets stuck and sits here for quite a long period of time. This is all the way into Saturday night, Sunday morning. There's that tilting going on. It's becoming more east to west oriented or horizontal. And exactly where that band sets up is the question, and the models continue to defer on that. But definitely somewhere, it looks to be more of South Carolina, I'm afraid, where some of those heaviest totals could fall. But this whole area going to be impacted by some extremely heavy rain totals. This is Saturday night by 2 a.m. Very heavy rain possible here. And once we get towards Sunday morning, there's that rain band, or Sunday afternoon, that rain band begins to shift a little farther to the north here, and South Carolina continuing to see some very heavy rain. And as we head into Sunday night and Monday, we see the hurricane beginning to lift farther to the north, according to the GFS, and that rain band begins to shift out of here later in the day on Monday. But we're going to see some potentially very heavy rain totals from this interaction with the upper level low and that moisture getting fed in with Hurricane Joaquin and that downbelling effect. So we could see anywhere from 12 to 17 inches of rain in some of the heaviest bands this weekend. So it's going to be potentially a very devastating flood for some of these areas. We've already seen incredible rain totals this week with all the active weather we've seen. And then you combine this setup for the weekend with this upper level low over the southeast, and we have that hurricane out in the Atlantic. We get that downbelling effect, that moisture getting fed in, and we're going to see some very, very heavy rain totals. And especially right now, it looks to be more of South Carolina versus North Carolina as far as the heaviest rain. It's shifting farther to the south a little bit, that heaviest rain band. So parts of northern and eastern Georgia included in some extremely heavy rain totals. But really, this whole area, I want you to focus not just South Carolina, but this whole area from Virginia through North Carolina, all the way down to Georgia, in that zone of very heavy rainfall this weekend. And we already have numerous flash flood watches. No surprise at all to see flash flood watches in place. I'm going to go to the weather.gov website, National Weather Service site here. You can see the green here all showing where we have flood watches in place over a good part of the East Coast here, the Southeast here, the Carolinas, Virginia, that area I was just talking about, that we'll see very heavy rainfall heading into the next several days. Now, some things to keep in mind. The trend today is to keep the storm offshore, and major flooding in the Carolinas is the big concern. Well, not just the Carolinas, Virginia, parts of Georgia, widespread area here under the potential for some extremely heavy rain. But I also want to stress, expect the forecast to adjust more in the days ahead. This forecast is not set in stone by any stretch of the imagination. We still have plenty of model divergence, models not in agreement on the exact track of the storm. All along, the question has been, will this hurricane will be able to get pulled in with this upper level low and be able to pull it to the Carolinas? That was the trend we thought yesterday, the day before. It was looking that way. But the trend today, no doubt, is that this upper level low will not be able to pull this hurricane in to the southeast U.S. So instead, this hurricane stays offshore, stays out in the Atlantic, and does not make landfall in the United States. So that's the trend today, but I've got to stress, this could still change. But certainly the trend is to keep the storm offshore, but you need to stay very close to the forecast over the next few days as the forecast continues to get fine-tuned. But that's just the very latest information. Thanks for watching. Be sure to share this video to keep everyone informed of the very latest information on what's going on with this hurricane. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening.